Hello everybody and welcome back to another Vincent Vision. I got another park update video for you, but for this video, we're focusing strictly on Halloween Horror Nights construction updates. There has been a lot more stuff added to each of the scare zones here in the park, some new events that have come up for the first time ever. I want to talk about those, show you guys all the cool stuff that's being added to the park every day. And we're starting this video off right here at the front of the park at the Dr. Oddfellow Scare Zone, the collection of horrors. And we've got a pretty fantastic set piece that I think is giving us a very good idea of how this scare zone is going to go. Now, there is a big difference this year at the entrance of the park. Normally in previous years, you would have the first scare zone right down the street where Despicable Me Minion Mayhem was. Now that Minion Land is officially open as of the day that I'm recording this video, I don't think we are getting that anymore. Instead, our Dr. Oddfellow Scare Zone has been moved a little more up to the front and now takes the space of the main Universal Studios store and the Universe store over here, which I'm hoping that once Halloween does come around here at Universal, we get some very, very cool Halloween-related Universe merchandise. Very cool store to check out if you haven't already. But we have this giant, I don't know what to call this, okay? There's a word for this type of carriage, this circus carriage, this snake elixir kind of wagon here. Wagon, I guess. Wagon is what you'd call it. Dr. Oddfellow's wagon is parked right here at the entrance of the park, and there is very obviously a stage set up for, I'm going to assume, some sort of Dr. Oddfellow character to come out and talk to everybody. Pretty cool to see. It's definitely not finished, but there are tons of details on it already. I in particular love the wheels of the wagon that look like a spider web. It seems as if we've sort of gotten our confirmation through social media and these podcasts that Dr. Oddfellow is the main icon of this year. So I am going to expect that this is the place that you are going to be able to have your one-on-one encounter with Dr. Oddfellow himself. I'm curious to see if there's going to be some more set pieces out in this area of the park leading up to the Dark Zodiac Scare Zone. Who knows? Who knows? Something that's a little different as well, there's now a big archway closer to the entrance of the park versus it used to be kind of like back towards the Minion Land entrance area. There's also a very large staircase that has been attached to it. So if I were a betting man, I would probably wager that arch is going to be some sort of stage for presumably the opening ceremonies. That's where we're going to get our Halloween Horror Night sign. That's where you're going to have your big opening moment. And last year, the Pumpkin Lord was kind of like towards the corner near the Minion Land sign, and opening ceremonies I don't think were as cool because of it. Now we're going to be getting Dr. Oddfellow and whoever else right here front and center. So those of you who are waiting at the front gates hours before the event starts like I do, you are really going to have your special opportunity to get the best view for this year's opening ceremony. Maybe, we'll see. Meanwhile, over here on the Dark Neck Zodiac of the Woods, not too much is going on. A lot of the same decorations that we've seen in previous visits are still out in the streets. And honestly, I'm not really expecting much else from this street right now. Historically, the Hollywood area of the park has always been a scare zone that has much bigger set pieces that come out like when the park closes and they're doing that sort of crossover from Universal Studios to Halloween Horror Nights. So we're not probably going to see a lot of these bigger set pieces until the actual event starts. I'm excited to see how this scare zone ties in with the Dr. Oddfellow lore. A lot of the Discover Universal podcast has talked about the Dr. Oddfellow character and how he's harnessed the powers of the Zodiac to achieve immortality. Well, this is the Dark Zodiac Scare Zone. So very, very excited to see what this scare zone ends up being like. Now, if you want to talk about finished scare zones, over here in Jungle of Doom, this thing looks ready to go. Last time I was here, there was some stuff out in the streets. Now, the entire street, in my opinion, looks to be completely finished, and the way this is fully decorated, the Jungle of Doom has jumped up on my scare zone hype list because of that. This stuff looks great, and it is littered with foliage, new props. There's now a parachute stuck in the trees. That crashed airplane looks like perfect with all of those plants around it. There's giant bats, giant spiders in Central Park. They have done a really, really great job with this scare zone, and I'm glad because this scare zone is usually the most scenic, the prettiest. I'm very excited to see this at night. Jungle of Doom, in my opinion, looks ready to go. Now, where the Jungle of Doom fits into the lore of this year's Horror Nights and the Dr. Oddfellow story is that this jungle here is where Dr. Oddfellow found the skull that would help give him immortality. And that is the very same skull from the jungle that you'll see on his Cane of Souls that we have yet to see. But I guess technically maybe we have seen already because Jack the Clown in 2007 was the ringleader and he had the immortal Cane of Souls that he stole from Dr. Oddfellow. But maybe we'll see how he got that Cane of Souls from the Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origin Haunted House over in the back of the park, and who knows? Who knows? We don't really know. But I am liking the way all these Scarezones are linked to the event. I feel like it's not something we've had in a very long time for Horror Nights, and I'm glad it's back in this form. So let's go check out Shipyard 32, Horrors Unhinged. Shipyard 32 has been getting some love as well. There are a lot more props out here since the last time I visited. A lot of crates, a lot of boxes, even a cage where it's very obvious some sort of monster is gonna be in there. And this is actually shipping up to be a pretty solid scare zone in my opinion. I didn't really have much expectations for this, but like, I actually kind of like the way it's set up now. One of my favorite Halloween Horror Nights gags seems to be in this scare zone. There is a brown crate right near the boats in San Francisco, and I don't want to spoil the surprise, but let's just say it's a really great effect and it works all the time. I also like that it seems pretty open. You know, there's not like a big stage or a giant set piece in the middle of the scare zone like in previous years. And honestly, just like getting to this point and not even making it all the way over to Vamp, I'm very excited for this year, and I can kind of feel like I'm reading the tea leaves here, and I think that this year is gonna be really, really good. I think this is gonna be one of the best Halloween Horror Nights years ever, and I know I said it over by the Jungle of Doom, but just like having a cohesive theme is so important to this event. I think it adds so much. Let's head over to Vamp 69, see what's going on over there, and check out some more Horror Nights updates. Vamp 69, Summer of Blood, hasn't had any major changes since the last we saw it. There are now, though, some cool new banners hung up on the street lamps throughout the New York street. Much love to the creative team, the people who are responsible with coming up with these cool designs for the event. It feels like you guys get a lot of freedom, or at least it seems like they get a lot of freedom, and it works out really well in your favor because it all looks super, super cool. The New York street is the biggest scare zone every year, and there's a lot of space to add a lot of activity. So maybe you'll get some more stuff that gets brought out before the event starts in the middle of the streets. It makes sense. We don't know yet, but that's kind of what I'm thinking is gonna happen. Where we're getting a lot of updates though is stuff like this. Behind me over here, as you can see, it is one of the first food booths put out here for this year's event. And well, does anyone happen to know what this is based off of? It's The Last of Us. The Last of Us has a food booth here in the New York area. We're gonna get some fungus clicker infected themed food here in the park based off of Last of Us. The decorations are so cool to see. This is our first Last of Us anything here in the park. You know, you got the Firefly logo, you can see the Fedra cement blocks down there as well. We have some more food booths in the park that look to be like themed to the Yeti Haunted House. One of them looks like Surfer Boy Pizza from Stranger Things. There's like a weird blue 80s one near Minions Land as well. You got a Chucky one near Fast and Furious. There's a cathedral looking one in the back of the park. I definitely bet a lot more of these types of booths are going to pop up around the park. The Horror Nights event is two things for a lot of people. It is the scare zones and the haunted houses, and then it is the food. And food has become increasingly popular over the years for this event, which brings me to my next topic, a brand new Halloween Horror Nights offering called the Tastes of Terrors that just started yesterday. Let's head over closer to where the actual event happens, Soundstage 33 in the back of the park near the New York Public Library, to talk about this event and whether or not it may or may not be worth your time. So behind me is Rip Ride Rocket. Woo! But okay, I'm just gonna let you in a little behind the scenes here and like being a universal vlogger. The New York Public Library is a really fantastic spot to vlog because it's never busy, it's out of the way, but there is one big challenge, and it is Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. People are screaming. I mean, it's a roller coaster, obviously, but you just gotta like wait for the roller coaster to pass. But anyway, the Taste of Terror is a first-time event this year where Universal is giving the opportunity for superfans to experience the food and beverage for this year's event, some of the food and beverage for Halloween Horror Nights 32. And at first, this is something I was very excited for. I thought this was a really, really cool idea. Then myself, like many others, saw the price for this event, and I think it kind of went a little lower on my priority list. It is now $135 a person to experience this 2-hour event that starts at 6 o'clock, close to park close. Originally though, it was $160, so it would have been about a little over $300 to experience this event for 2 people. And this is all food that is going to be at Halloween Horror Nights anyway, so you could just do what a lot of people are gonna do, and that is wait until the event actually starts on September 1st to have access to this food for 2 months. And like, a part of me would do it. Obviously, I love Halloween Horror Nights. I love the food especially. They do a really great job each year. A lot of really unique offerings, and it would have been nice to experience it and preview it, and like, honestly, maybe we will. The price included unlimited food and drink, and I'm not like the biggest drinker. I'll have maybe a drink or 2 during Horror Nights, and that's kind of it for me. Also, I'm not a super big fan of the Halloween Horror Nights pre-mixed drinks anyway, which is what these are. So it would have been more about the food for me, and actually they've released a cheaper price for a just food option, which is great. It's $89 for the experience without alcohol, which is I think what I'll end up doing if I do this a little bit later. This goes on from August 10th to August 20th. So I have a good amount of time to try this out. And who knows, the prices might get a little cheaper later. There are some people, some creators who have been able to experience the Taste of Terror already. I would definitely recommend checking those videos out. Super Enthused, Pew2, Kevin Heimbach, the usual suspects, you know. I might end up doing this at some point. I'm not in that big of a rush because of the price, and the food is eventually going to be available to everybody, but you do get like a Blinky cup and a Freestyle cup and things like that as well. So there are some incentives. If you're a big mega Horror Nights fan, this might totally be worth it for you. But right now, me personally, I'm a little on the fence. And that, my friends, is all I've got for you for this Halloween Horror Nights update. I hope you enjoyed it. Expect more of these throughout the rest of the month. Thank you guys for watching another Vincent Vision. I hope you had fun having fun with me. This is like one of the best times of year here at Universal. This is like Universal's Christmas. Even though Universal has Christmas, this is like their actual Christmas time. You know, please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe for more Universal videos like this. I am not getting out of here just yet. I'm actually gonna go ride VillainCon Minion Blast. It officially opened today. Today is the grand opening, and I need to put my name on the leaderboard so more people subscribe to my channel. So I'm gonna go do that. I'll see you all online, but thank you guys for watching another Vincent Vision, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.